Good evening, champions. I'm coming to you late and I'm coming to you live. Just kidding, I'm not live. I'm gonna edit this and post later. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about what it is exactly that I do, otherwise known as Marine Corps COMMSTRAT. Yes, COMMSTRAT is an acronym and the military is fond of them, but it stands for Communication, Strategy, and Operations. Now, I'm expecting that the people who visit my blog are a mix of people who are already in the military uniform service or people who aren't in the service but use military products. So I'm going to try and talk about what it is that we do and why we do it. So COMMSTRAT, it's more than taking photos. Anybody who is in uniform and enlisted in the Marine Corps in this occupational specialty knows that it's about photo, video, and graphics. But when we talk about like the strategy in large for the Marine Corps, it's so much more than that. In July of 2017, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff established information as a 7th joint function. Then, a month later, in August of 2017, the Communication Strategy and Operations occupation was born. This merged the existing fields known as Public Affairs and Combat Camera. And yes, there is a bitter divide between those who were previously Public Affairs and previously Combat Camera. But it's because the missions are very different. Those in the uniformed service know that Combat Camera was the eyes and ears of the commander, and not all of their photos and video got published, but for good reason. What they're capturing is a true representation of what could happen on a battlefield, and we don't want that to get into the hands of the enemy because we make it public information. Now on the other side, you have Public Affairs, and Public Affairs was created to foster relationships with outside entities and the American public. So everything that they do is like, look at all the good things we're doing, look at where your tax dollars are going, and there's just very different mindset going into this merger. So then later in January of 2019, information was established as the 7th Marine Corps warfighting function. That shouldn't come as a surprise because once the Joint Chief established it, obviously we were going to as well. So the COMMSTRAT mission. Our mission, now that we're joined, contextualizes Marine Corps operations, policies, and activities to build understanding, credibility, and trust with audiences critical to mission success. We also enhance the Marine Corps warfighting ability in the information environment. How do we do that? Well, COMMSTRAT Marines, like myself, take videos of Marine Corps activities. Then, just like any good journalist, we choose the most storytelling photos. Those products are reviewed by the release authority, usually a Marine Corps COMMSTRAT officer, and then posted to divots, linked up here, where they become public. Then, those communication products, if it's a big story, get picked up by larger news publications, sometimes the New York Times or the Washington Post. But for the most part, Divots acts as a repository for all visual information and is open for anyone to use. As long as you have an account, you can download photos and videos. So, for the people who aren't in the service but still like to use our products, check out Divots because it's a great resource for anybody who's trying to find out what Marines are doing or where we're at. For those of you in the uniform service, make sure you're going through this process because if you're not, ultimately you're failing yourself and you're failing the mission. So, champions, keep it tight, know where to look.